How do people become disconnected from their own needs? This is the question we're exploring this week. Many high-functioning people describe a strange sensation between, on one hand, seeing themselves as highly capable to solve complex issues, run businesses, manage teams, and run households, and on the other, when asked, what do you want? What do you actually need? And then they go blank, completely blank, and express surprise at their seeming inability to answer such a simple question. So we wonder, how does this happen? Many believe this is the cause of major life events, big traumas that have happened sometimes in childhood or adulthood that created that disconnection. And of course, that is possible for those who have had major life events, major traumas. It is possible that disconnection happened. It's my experience, however, that many high-functioning people didn't necessarily have major life events, major traumas that justified this level of disconnection. So how did it happen? In those occasions, it's my belief that the individual was part of an environment that had demands that were at odds with their identity and needs. You see, it's almost like saying that being themselves or expressing their needs was in the way of what the environment required. And so the person had a dilemma, had a choice to make, that of either adapting to the environment in order to survive in a smoothest possible way, or that of being themselves, of being authentic, at the risk of not surviving the environment. And especially in childhood, it's quite obvious that the choice is more often in the direction of adaptation, because we depend on the environment and therefore we cannot escape it or shape it in a way that fits us. And so if we see it in this lens, a very important point is that this disconnection was not a failure. It was the result of a successful strategy that we had to implement in order to be in the environment that we were in. Now, the problem, therefore, is not that the high-functioning person doesn't have needs. They have needs. Everybody has needs. Is that either they can't hear them, or, even worse perhaps, they can hear the voices from within speaking and expressing their needs, but then they perceive these voices to just be noise, to be disruptive, or sometimes, even though they're clear as to what the voices are asking for, they describe these needs as selfish, as inappropriate, and therefore the strategy gets repeated: adaptation to the environment in favor of listening and acting upon our own needs. And so you see high-functional people today who are highly attuned to their environment. They can read a room very quickly, or they can preempt and anticipate what their bosses or partners want, and yet they can't listen and make space for what they need, with the net result having that feeling of emptiness or lack of purpose or disconnection as we described it today. So this is not something that can be fixed by flicking a switch and suddenly we're back to a full balanced self. After years and years of repetition and practice, it's deeply embedded. But the good news is that the needs are there, and all we have to do is to at least begin to listen to that silence, or begin to listen with curiosity to the noise as it emerges, and begin to attend to it without necessarily automatically quashing it in favor of the environment. And so I leave you with this reflection this week. Which need, either physical or emotional, have you heard coming to surface over the last days or weeks that you have quashed and ignored. Perhaps next time it comes up, you will listen to it a little more carefully. Until next week.